As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
BravBros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of BravBros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only El Maguto.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one tatted on my ass.
Are you gonna get a tattoo? We talked about
We
that.
did talk about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to.
What are you gonna get?
I said that I was gonna get an anime panel.
Are you gonna do
on
that?
my thigh, yeah.
Do you want a guy?
I would go through you to get a guy.
I got a good guy. I got
I know
two
you
good
got a
guys. If you can get into one, the only issue is he only does American traditional now. But
What
if
the
you
fuck is that?
have you seen the tattoos? Like they're the old school cartoonish looking ones of like the fighter like this, or like the very traditional like mom heart. If you saw any of them, you'd
I
be
know
like,
what you're-
oh, like
yeah.
that. You remember shit?
Oh, like in SpongeBob, where he's got mom and then he rips it
Yes.
upside down and it goes,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a
Okay.
like American traditional tattoo.
so
It's
not
like
that
what
guy.
you see in barbershops, like on the walls and stuff like that. The old timey looking ones.
Old timey guys, yeah.
Yeah, he only does that style now, but he's the one that did the bull on my thigh, which is insanely good.
Yeah.
So if you can get into him, he's great. If not, I've got a very, very good alternative who did my forearm. I'll give you both, and then
Give me
you-
both.
no.
Give me both and we'll get out there.
But
Do a reveal.
if you
Little YouTube, hey, you want to check out my upper thigh or what?
shooter's upper thigh tat,
Yeah.
what do you think of that bad
The
boy?
thing is, so I say this every year when it comes to the summer, I always drop down. I always drop down an inch on my inseams.
Yeah.
So eventually it's going to be a problem. Eventually it's just going to be out there, you know?
Well, no, that's just where you evolve into a Speedo guy, and that's when the podcast
You
ends.
know.
When you become a Speedo guy is when
Banana hammock.
we're done.
Yeah,
That's my team name in fantasy football,
that's fair.
the Banana Hammocks.
Banana hammocks.
Yep. And I got Borat in a swimsuit as my logo.
That's a good logo.
I know.
Way
And
to go.
fitting for the team. But
Very fitting.
I took an idea of yours and I ran with it because we need to come up with new segments because we have a lot more episodes now. And I loved your theory thing when we did Who's This
Yeah.
for the Who's. So I
Yeah.
Googled some
Parallel universes, yeah.
some parallel universe theories in popular culture. I think you're going to like this one.
Okay, I'm ready.
But you got to tell me, do you want to talk? You got three options.
Okay.
We can talk Grease, we can talk Titanic, or we can talk Breaking Bad.
Oh my God, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We got lots of
And,
content.
like, you got to keep the other two, though.
I will. Yeah, I got
We
it.
can do them in the future.
Yep.
Let's just start with Grease.
All right, we'll start with Grease. This is a really good
Wait, Grease? Like John Travolta Grease?
Like Grease Lightning, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let's go to Titanic.
Titanic?
Yeah, I thought you meant like ancient Greece, and you were gonna give me some like folklore. And
No.
Okay.
All right, so Titanic. The theory about Titanic is that Jack is from the future. All right? And Jack is a time traveler who came back in time to keep Rose from dying by suicide because that would have caused a delay in the ship's course, potentially keeping the Titanic from crashing and altering the course of history.
How does Rose committing suicide earlier in the movie prevent them from hitting an iceberg?
Because if she killed herself, they might have had to delay the timeline in which they were
That's a
going across
possibility,
the
yeah.
ocean, and then it would have changed when they hit the iceberg, where they were going, when the iceberg was in. that
Oh,
spot.
so it's like that. It's like the situation where you're on the railroad tracks and you can change the direction of the train to either kill one person that you really like or three people that you don't know.
Correct. Exactly.
And in this case, it's Rose or 100,000 people in the ship.
You think the Titanic carried 100,000 people?
Yes.
And you
No,
don't
what was it,
think
like
that would be
5,000?
the biggest disaster in the history of
It
human
still
civilization?
is. What do you mean?
The Titanic?
Yeah, it still is.
No, it's not.
What's the biggest disaster?
In the U.S. history? The
Man-made.
Civil War.
Well, that's not. That doesn't count.
How does it not count? That's
Doesn't
the
count. That's not a
most.
disaster.
Are we really gonna have to Google right now?
I'm
the
talking non-natural, so no earthquakes, no
biggest
volcanoes.
man-made disaster in the world?
I thought we were talking about the United States.
Chernobyl,
That's a good one. Yeah.
Deepwater Horizon. Oh, we're not talking
Titanic?
about casualties now. This is a really good way to start off a podcast. This is not what I was trying to talk
Very
about.
morbid.
Most
Who died the most?
Most casualties in U.S. disaster history was the
Oh.
Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900.
Yeah, that's natural disaster though. So
Okay. Let me keep scrolling through this. This is literal doom scrolling.
well, while you're looking through that, because I want
Civil
you to
War.
That's
the first
but that's
thing.
like it's a 4-year thing. So yeah, whatever. Agree to disagree, Google.
Go back to the theory.
No, the other theory that comes from Titanic is Jack actually faked his death and he stole the real Hope Diamond.
I've
out of
heard
the
that
ocean,
one. I like that
and
one.
went home and sold it and made millions of dollars and became Gatsby.
I like that one better.
Because
That's
the
better than-
timelines actually do add up a little bit.
That one I like better. But he could still be from the future. And then
He could
he
still be from
becomes
the future.
Gatsby and he knows that.
Yeah. And it would make
alcohol-
sense because Gatsby is always trying to, like, he falls in love with another girl and he's always trying to do things. And he's got questions about his past because he was actually poor and he didn't go to college. So he wasn't an Oxford man, which is what the issue was in Gatsby. So,
And the other issue is they don't know where he got his money. They assume it's from bootlegging
yes.
and prohibition, but they don't know for sure.
He got it from
So it's
selling
the
the
Hope
diamond.
Diamond.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
We started with Jack from the future, and now we just figured out both Gatsby and the Titanic.
There we go.
There you go.
That's what you get here. And the Civil War.
Theories with the we didn't. Nope. Too soon. But anyway, that was the biggest disaster in U.S. history.
Okay. All right. Fine. Titanic. Yeah.
But
Only God can sink this ship.
yeah, that's the thing.
Smart. Putting that on the bottom of
If
a boat.
Anybody like if the
Was
lines...
Titanic an inside job?
Oh, see, that's interesting.
Let's get Craig on.
Yeah, we need to. Oh shit, we're about due for another conspiracies with Craig. Maybe I should reach out to him, see if he's ready for our second round, and we can bring this up to him. Was the first theory was the Titanic an inside job?
Yes.
Craig Conover reporting.
Need that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But without further ado, you know what time it is. Mr. 305.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Universe. Mr.
Getting there.
Miami.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
He's gotta make that stride.
If they put him on, remember that, I think it's Voyager is the one that the satellite they just sent straight out from Earth.
Yeah.
And it has passed Pluto. It's in the deep, deep parts of our solar system, eventually going to leave the solar system. If they had put Pitbull, because there's a record on it, you know that, right? With the sounds of Earth and mathematical
He'd be
equations.
dead by now, though. They sent that thing out there, what, 30 years ago? Pitbull's not living through that.
No, you don't put Pitbull on the satellite. You
Oh.
put Pitbull on the record, you dipshit.
Oh, I thought you meant. Well, for him to fully be Mr. Worldwide or Mr. Universe, he'd have to be there.
What I was saying was he technically was Mr. Universe.
What if
they
that
sent-
satellite crashes into an inhabited planet that we don't know about yet and kills millions? Would that be the biggest disaster?
That
The
would
biggest man-made disaster in the
No,
universe?
that would just be the worst science I've ever heard because things can't enter an atmosphere without burning up upon reentry. It's a satellite. It's not a fucking
You
asteroid.
don't know that.
I do know that.
Could be.
No, that
You know how the new iPhone was made?
Yeah, if you watch the commercial, it came from an asteroid. That's where we get titanium as space rocks.
I think we've referenced that before.
Yeah.
here.
So you have a space rock in your pocket. How cool is that?
Pretty sick.
What a weird way to market.
Titanium,
I still
baby.
don't get that. Yeah, we did because I was trying to figure out why is that a selling point. It's made out of titanium, which comes from space rocks.
Yeah, and I bet if you drop it on the ground, it's still going to break.
Yeah, my screen's gonna. I'm not worried about the casing. It's not the metal that's ever been the problem, Apple. It's the fucking screen. Make the screen out of titanium. Now
Wow.
we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Apple,
Talking.
and I'm sure you're listening because my phone's in my lap. So
That's a good point.
take a note of this one while you're listening.
Steve Jobs still alive?
We'll ask Craig.
Let's get into Miami.
So all in all, I enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed this season a lot, and I'm really glad they brought this show back. Again, we haven't watched the early episodes, but the last 2 seasons have been riveting. And as much as I hate her, Larsa is an important part of this cast. And I
She
hate
is.
saying that.
I don't know what you're getting at, but she
Uh,
is.
She is, unfortunately,
But
but
just going to talk about Marcus talking about him being able to dress her for what she needs to wear.
I didn't
under
like that.
her
I don't need
clothing.
to see their scenes. Them together, and I'm like, this is not because I don't wish anybody to be unhappy, even if I don't like you. I'm glad that they seem to really enjoy each other, whatever. I don't like how they talk to each other.
No,
It's
makes me
gross.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
And it has nothing to do with the age gap. It's
Zero.
Just,
No, it's not
I
that.
get uncomfy when I watch any couples talking about that.
Yeah, I just don't. It's like PDA. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I'm cool.
Please
I'm cool.
don't.
You guys do your thing. It's awesome. Good for you. You can boink all you want. You can dress her up all you want. I don't care. I just don't want to hear about it.
Yep.
But anyway, we start out with Alexia and her kids, and they're furniture shopping for Peter because Peter's moving closer to everybody. But what this scene was really about is the fact that Alexia has to move, which is confusing why they didn't intro with that. And that already raises questions for me. And there's a lot of questions that come with it. Because according to Alexia, their lease is up. They sold the apartment and they have to get out by the end of she thinks by the 15th, but I guess it's the end of the month, but that's conflicting. There's just too many conflicting stories here where I don't know what's actually going on.
I don't think it's that deep. I really don't. I don't think she's lying. I don't think that there's
You don't think
money
there's financial
problems.
issues?
No, I don't at
Why?
all.
Because you saw his office?
Partly.
I fucking knew it. I knew that was why.
Sucker for a good office. He looked good in that shirt.
He's not poor. Look at that office.
Look at the way he shook that man's
You know
hand.
how-
He's
you know-
having a great time with the boys.
You know how I watched that scene?
What?
You are losing money because if you're based on loans and you're a loan officer or you're
Yeah, but that's
a
fine.
financial firm and you're spending all of this money on this schwanky office in Miami, there's your overhead, pal. Downsize.
Well, let's not gloss over the fact that she was at a very nice high-end furniture store buying Peter everything that he wanted.
Pulling up in a leased Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any money issues. I really don't think it's an issue. I think people are just going after Alexia for whatever reason, which we will get into a little bit later. The apartment being sold thing and then them staying until the end of the month, that's completely normal. When I lived in an apartment, it got sold. I had to go back and forth with the person who bought it and say that we were going to stay until a certain point. They allowed it. We drew up a new lease. We stayed until that point, and then we moved. It's not that
No, I
difficult to-
understand that. I've been in apartments too. I spent most of my life in apartments. I get
Sometimes
how
they get sold from
works.
underneath of you while you're living there, and you have to move. That's life.
I know. Stop mansplaining how apartments work to me,
You
please.
want me to do interest rates
Why
next
don't you draw like a diagram for me? Make a diorama, dickhead.
of an apartment?
Yeah. And explain to me how it works.
I'll do that if you do one of the solar system and you show me where the Voyager is
You
and
got it.
where Pitbull is.
Mine's going to take a lot longer. I don't know where Pitbull is. He's dead like millions of miles away from Earth.
We can use a golf ball painted purple for Pluto.
Is it a planet?
Pluto is a planet.
No, it's not.
I don't want to do this.
Anywho,
You can't just make something not a planet, all right?
they did.
You can't.
Then they made it a planet again. Then they took it off again.
Rude.
Yeah, I know. But it's because it's an exoplanet. And there's a lot of them out there. That's the thing that people don't know. Pluto's just slightly bigger than a lot of the other exoplanets that are all skirting around the edge of our solar system.
Yeah, but I like Pluto.
I love space. I'll talk about this all the time. We can change this podcast.
Let's do it.
The Astro Bros.
Astro Bros works.
Ast Bros. That doesn't sound as good.
Yeah, let's workshop that one.
Anyway, back to the episode. The next scene we get was with Adriana and Julia, and this is where questions start to arise because Adriana brings to Julie's attention, which of course she does, and this also I take with a grain of salt because it's Adriana saying it. And the news is coming from Ana, who we find out later in this episode. I didn't know because we haven't watched the early ones. She's got beef with Marysol, which in turn gives her beef with Alexia. So if she's feuding with these two, and that's where we're getting this info from, and it's the low-hanging fruit because they're moving out of their apartment, so it's easy to point to financial issues. I'm not believing it fully, but Adriana's like, a little bird told me that they're having financial problems, and that because this is what did raise a red flag for me, though. When she referenced interest rates, and Todd's a financial firm, which I didn't know either. It said Commerce Capital on the front door, so I'm assuming he does investments.
Yeah.
That would make sense that his business would be down. Would it make sense that he's like losing all of his money and bankrupt and has to move? No, because these things ebb and flow. But at the same
That's
time,
how life works. If he was a real estate mogul and the interest rates were high and all the prices are high, you're going to lose money, so you're going to have to downsize. What's the first thing you do? You move out of an apartment that you're paying way too much for. I think it just coincides with everything. I think that people are just digging for it. And it's Adriana again. I do not care. Adriana is a child, and she will take any opportunity to try to dig at people that she doesn't like. She does this whole little birdie thing, and I love now that Julia is on good terms with Alexia, which is crazy now.
Yeah, but
that
this
I'm
puts
sitting
her in a
here and
precarious
fucking
position.
defending Alexia, but here we are. Julia is now friends with Alexia, so she feels weird about that. She doesn't like that. She just made good with Alexia. She's trying to rekindle a friendship, maybe get a little closer. So she feels weird about Adriana. I think that people are going to start seeing Adriana for who she is, and I need that to happen because this is what Adriana does. She just shit talks other people and tries to bring them down because they're mean to her.
But they do already know her MO, but this will be the nail in the coffin if this comes out, and it's going to because she's going to force the issue. It's going to come out because of Adriana.
She does. In this episode, she forces it
No,
by
I understand.
forcing Nicole to invite Ana.
But and that's going to start the conversation, even though Alexia and Marysol aren't there anymore. But it is going to grow into more of an issue as we go. But the thing that bugs me about it the most is how happy Adriana is about it. If they're actually having financial problems, why the fuck are you smiling? I don't care if you don't like them. You shouldn't wish that on anybody. They have kids. They have Frankie to think about. Like, they got issues that they need money to help. You can't be out here wishing for financial failure because it makes you feel better about your life. Like, that's
exactly what she's doing.
Oh, I know, but it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
When she smirks at the end and does that little like smile with the eyes up.
Yeah,
I was livid.
I do not like Adriana at all. She's not a good person. That's the thing. Like, if I'm hating on somebody because they're boring or we know their MO and it's kind of tiresome, that's one thing. I do that a lot. I understand that. Hand up. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
This is different. She's not a good person.
No,
she does these things all the time, and people are realizing it. But I don't understand it. Like, I don't want her on the show if this is what she's going to do.
But moving on from there, we get Lisa and Jody on a little dinner date at, I'm assuming, Jody's house, and it is schwanky. He's got the private chef for a dinner for two. Here's my question. Because this dinner oddly resembles the same exact dinner she had with Lenny out on their lanai in seasons past.
Last season, yeah.
Oh, this was last season?
Yeah.
So my question for you, was this Jody, or has Lisa told him the story, and he's trying to redo it better for her because she told him how off-putting it was, or he saw it on TV last season and was like, "Ooh, I'm going to do this, but better."
I honestly had not thought about that. That's a really good theory. I think it's the former. I think that we know how much Lisa talks to Jody about Lenny and all the issues that they've gone through. Would not put it past her to say, I set up this really nice dinner because we hadn't had dinner before, or at least in the last couple of years, and he just kind of wrote me off and was being an asshole the whole time, which he was, and we see the flashbacks. I could see that being the case here, telling Jody what happened and him trying to recreate it so that she can have a nicer version of that dinner.
That's what I think happened.
That's a good point. I like that.
But the biggest thing I can take away from this, and I'm proud of Jody, because Jody wants a little more attention. Jody just wants her to check in.
Yeah.
How am I doing? And more importantly, how are you doing? You, Lisa, not Lenny, you. He wants to talk about you two. And we knew this was going to come at some point.
I'm happy. I didn't know it was going to come.
Oh, you didn't think of it ever?
I didn't think that Jody was going to speak up. No, I didn't. He doesn't strike me as the type of guy that can have this sort of communication.
That's actually a good
I figured
point.
he was just going to sit there and take it the whole time.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, and I'm glad that he's able to voice it. I'm just curious how it's going to play out. We see how it plays out a little bit later, and we'll wait for that one. But hopefully, I'm not optimistic about it, but hopefully she can take that and actually take it in and be like, oh, I do need to be better at this, because she says she wants to be better. But I do take a lot of things she says with a grain of salt.
I do like the idea that the women talking to Lisa on their trip to, where the fuck did they go again? Palm Springs? Palm Beach.
Palm Beach.
That was not a joke. I actually forgot. When they started going after her for the way that she treats Jody and just kind of pummels him with all the Lenny stuff, I think that Jody looked at that and said, all right, now I have it in. I can start talking about myself.
Oh, you think get in there? She told him about it?
She did. She definitely did.
And
She,
then,
she referenced that in this conversation.
Right.
She said, you know, I told you about how all the women were kind of attacking me about this and saying that I was taking you for granted, not talking about you. I think he heard that and was like, oh, okay, good. Here's my chance to get in there, because otherwise he doesn't really have a chance unless you just kind of stop the conversation and say, stop talking about Lenny. We need to focus on ourselves.
And that's going to fuck it up.
That is why, because he hadn't done that so far, that's why I never really saw him having this sort of conversation with her.
Okay, I like that. But then we get Nicole and her mom, and they're going over the lunch that she had with her dad. And I think it's a really risky game, and maybe not one you want to play, to go on 23andMe and figure out whether or not you have other long-lost siblings. I just think let it lie.
I think let it lie too. I mean, me personally, I would.
I just
don't
let it
care.
lie. I don't need to know. I don't think I want to know. And especially, knowing what we know now, rest in peace, Mr. Martin. I'm sure that she has a completely different take on it, and understandably so. But
I like how mature the conversation can be, though, between her and her mom talking
because
about.
Nicole's normal, and
I
she
know,
came
I
from
know.
somebody
But
normal,
I
which is
have-
her mom.
But I have to point that out every time that we see it. Whenever
agree.
something normal happens, it's like, okay, neither is getting worked up, neither is getting overly emotional and calling her dad an asshole or anything like that. She's just sharing new information and saying, you know what? I don't know what I want to do about this. Found out that I have other half siblings. I don't know if I want to know them. Her mom asks, do you want to be in their lives? Wouldn't you want to if you found out that they were there? Or do you want to even take that step and just kind of leave it? So I like this. I think this is like a very real world issue that could, shed some light on a lot of situations with other people that are watching. So I think that's nice.
You think this is a common occurrence?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, where have I been?
I don't know.
You think that siblings find out frequently they have long lost siblings?
For sure.
Oh. Where's that show?
I don't. There probably is.
That's
Probably
a
on
Bravo
TLC.
show.
That should no, that's not Bravo.
Oh,
That's definitely TLC.
I saw one thing. Oh, it was actually John Oliver. I went to see him live, and he does a joke where he's like, there's a show in the U.S. called like Know Your Roots or something, and it traces your whole bloodline back. In England, you know what it's called?
What?
'Cause he was talking about how much more like brash English people are and like mean, pretty much is what he was saying.
Yeah.
And he's British, so he could say that. I'm just quoting him
Okay.
to any of our UK fans out there. Okay, I'm
We love you,
only
UK.
quoting him. Now, he said it's called Know Your Roots in the U.S. In England, it's called Who Do You Think You Are?
That's pretty funny.
Who do you
Who
think
do you
you
think
are? Which is
Or even looking.
yeah, it's pretty funny. But anyway, speaking of normal, the next scene we get is Gertie and Russell taking the boys bowling, and my God, did this pull at my heartstrings.
Oh yeah.
This
it got
was,
me too.
yeah, I mean, it was just such a touching scene, and it was difficult to watch as she's telling her kids about her diagnosis, and especially with the older one,
Yeah, the older one is what got me.
the teenager who is in the beginning, you can tell like
Too cool to be.
too cool to be bowling with the family. He's
Yeah.
trying not to smile, and he's still smiling because some funny shit's happening. But seeing him during that scene, he's trying to remain composed, and he can't even look up. It was just like gut wrenching.
Yeah.
This scene was tough, but I just love watching their dynamic. I literally wrote down love these two
Because again, it's normal.
it's normal, but just I feel like every member of every cast on all shows, Housewives centric, should have to watch scenes with Russell and Gertie to be like, this is what your spouse should do for you. This is normal, actually. This is what a good marriage looks like. So when you're questioning whether or not Todd's being cool or somebody's being cool and is John Jansen being an asshole, show this scene.
John Jansen is being an asshole.
He's being a massive asshole. He's being a giant
We
gaping
don't need to talk about that right
giant
now.
gaping butthole. But this would be a better method. Be like, hey, watch this scene. Would your man ever do that for you?
Yeah.
No, he's not the one. Would your man fake cancer? Oh, he would? Probably not the right guy. Like stuff like that.
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? I am. But
Whoa.
if you get that
Bowling,
reference.
too.
Yeah, bowling. I hope you get that reference. But anyway, I just realized we're just like jumping from like couples to couples here. 'cause
Yeah,
the
we
next
really
one,
are.
We get Alexia and Todd, not normal. And this scene was weird. This was weird. And like you say, it's not that big of a deal. People do this all the time. It's part of owning or leasing an apartment, which I get. This interaction's weird because she's concerned about, to me, he's trying to play it cool. He's like unbothered by it intentionally because he doesn't want people to know that they're struggling. And struggling might mean that they do have to downsize. And it might not be any deeper than that. But I do know that this group especially cares about their status, and they're not going to want to admit that, hey, we're leaving this big place because we can't afford it, especially when the next sentence is get a big place. And she's talking about 40 to 50 grand for a rental, which is fucking crazy.
I took
and
that as it being for the year.
no way.
You don't think so?
Nope. No shot.
Yeah, no, that math.
That
ain't
place
mathing.
that they're living in is
Yeah.
not 40 to 50 grand a year.
That's a good point.
But
I'm way off. I am way off on that.
the
That's,
other
that's
thing-
bad math by me. Hand up.
But the other thing, speaking of bad math, that's concerning to me when it comes to a guy that's a financial something.
Wizard?
No. Why is he saying it's a bad financial decision to own and to lease instead?
He's saying it's a bad financial decision to own right now because it doesn't make any sense to buy a house
he's
right
saying
now.
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
That's why they lease all their cars too, because interest rates are too fucking high.
Oh, I thought they were saying he thinks it's a bad financial decision.
No, it's
period.
a smart, like people who bought their houses like you did a couple years ago and you are living in a nice interest rate and enjoying yourself.
Damn right I am.
Hell yeah, you are. And a lot of it, it's a great place here. Right now, it makes absolutely no sense to go buy a place. And they just got married last year. So all of this is mathing for me. All of that makes a lot of sense. I think I don't like that I'm defending Todd right now.
I don't either.
I think he's not worried about it because he has Alexia, who is so worried about it and so anxious about it. And she's on top of everything that he knows that she's just going to take care of it.
But she's reaching for help, and he's like, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, that's a problem. But I think that's where he's going, where he's like, I know that she's going to be able to figure this out. And she's meeting with her realtor friend that's going to show her a couple of places. And all she needs from him is just the budget.
See, I'm thinking that he's trying to play cool, calm, collected on camera.
He is, yes. But yeah, I mean, it's a downturn for business right now, especially any sort of loaning.
Then don't go get a giant place. He said,
Maybe
go
they're
get the
not going
biggest
to.
place. He said that.
We'll see. Maybe they're not going through a financial issue.
If you're right, I don't know. I think that. I don't think.
I am not going to believe Adriana.
I'm not either. And
Not
this is
a
where
chance in
meet
hell.
me halfway.
Also, seeing that clip of Dana, of Ana and her daughter talking about Marysol being like a dead body, like a rotting corpse.
I know. What the
Like,
fuck?
fuck those people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not defending Marysol.
No, not at all.
Marysol's a lot better this year, but I still understand that. Those are the people that are giving this information, and then it's going to Adriana. I'm not believing a word those crazy people say.
No, I'm 100% on the same team with you there. I'm saying somewhere in the middle where
It could be somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
Like
that's fine.
it's kind of taking your theory with my theory in maybe financial struggle doesn't mean financial downfall, but money might be tight.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that somebody actually bought the apartment, or do you think they're breaking their lease because
I
they
think they're
can't afford
breaking
it?
their lease.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I'm taking it at face value for now until we get more
that's the
information. But
thing. We might actually get a scene with like the guy leasing the apartment and be like, oh, okay, well now we got confirmation. But
Yeah.
until I get that, I think they're breaking the lease.
or until we see their new apartment, and you're like, okay, that's a beautiful, huge apartment. That's fine.
Yeah, but in Miami, that matters because where they're at now, if you're right on the water in that schwanky place, that makes a massive difference in that same
No, are
place
they?
inland a
They
little
were up
bit.
on the deck
I think
drinking
they're on the water.
Todd's booze,
Yeah, I believe.
smoking Todd's cigars.
I think I think it's at least like on the bay or something.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully. But
Hopefully.
then we got Lisa and Larsa, which I don't need to see these two alone, but it was actually a good scene. Because I don't know how to feel about this. She says that she wants to be better about checking in with Jody, so she sets a reminder to check in with Jody.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You think it's dumb? Full dumb?
I think
Or is
it's
it
full
just
dumb.
dumb because she said she was doing that to Jody. I agree with
No, I think she needs to check in with Jody. I agree with that.
No, I
But
know
setting a
that.
reminder on your phone is also fine. That's okay. But don't tell other people that you're setting a reminder on your phone. And certainly don't set a reminder on your phone to go off while you're at dinner with your friends to then call him on camera and say, hey, my reminder just went off on my phone to check in and see how you're doing. So I wanted to do that.
Well, this just
That
goes
seems
to
forced.
it goes to show you it was forced, and it goes to show you that's not who she is.
It's
and
not.
she wants people to think that
But
that's
you
who
know
she is.
what,
This
though?
was her moment to be like, "See, I'm doing it, everybody. I'm doing it."
It was, yeah, and that it really sucks too because, and I'm gonna defend Lisa a little bit here. She did just go through a fucking shitty marriage, and
Sure.
obviously the divorce. So she said, and I tend to believe her. She said that she wanted to be a person that had good communication with her partner, and she never had that with Lenny.
I believe that.
I understand that. So I feel like that part of her is just completely gone, and she needs to be able to figure it out. This isn't the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. You do it off camera. You can set a reminder in your phone just to, I guess give you a little bit of a sense of an urgency to do it. But don't tell Jody that you set a reminder in your phone. Don't do it at dinner with Larsa. Don't tell Larsa. Don't tell us on camera. Just fucking do it. Otherwise, it looks like you're not caring.
She's not. She wants us to think that she is.
I don't know if that's true.
I think. Hold on. Let me rephrase. I think that she cares about Jody. I think that this is a real relationship. I don't think it's just a bounce back from Lenny. Is it too much, too quick, too fast? Yes, but I do 100% believe that this was a moment where she could just show us, the audience, like she thought that this was a
maybe it
good
was.
idea. Where she's like, "Oh, my reminder's going to go off at 8:30 p.m. while I'm at dinner on camera." intentionally so that everybody at home sees I'm making an effort. Jody's going to know I made the effort because I need to tell Jody I did it because he needs to know that I heard him. That's all that is.
It is. It is. If it continues, it's going to suck. I'm going to give her a pass just this one time.
That's the funny thing is I'm actually giving her a pass and saying, like, I appreciate the effort. If this continues, like you said, fuck that. I think that she got caught in a bad moment, but I think that the sentiment was nice. And I think it was genuine that she wants to be better.
I agree with that. And you know what I'd like to see is a different scene, not a forced scene where Lisa comes in and says, hey, I just wanted to see how you were doing on camera. Yeah. I want a aftermath scene. I want them to come in and I want Jody to say on camera, you know, it makes me feel a lot better that you've been checking in with me a lot recently.
I don't think I'll ever...
Instead of seeing it on camera to begin with.
I don't think I'll ever buy it that it's organic, though.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's going to take a lot to be like, oh, that was real.
Well, I'm rooting for her.
I am too, and I'm not like anti-Lisa. I guess after last week where we said we need to see change whatever, we do need to give her
This isn't what we needed, yeah.
It's not what we needed, but she needs credit for effort. And so maybe let me reel it in a little bit.
All right.
I'll give her some flowers for the effort and just say clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? And if this happens again, I'm off the boat entirely.
All right, cool.
I'm on the Titanic with Pitbull.
All right, yeah.
But then we get to the Mamacita party, which is a Mother's Day party for all the moms in the group, which is a nice thing to do, especially considering the last event that they all had together was a disaster. So let's bring the group back and try to mend some broken fences. My least favorite moment of Miami, period, both seasons combined, is Lisa pulling up in her housekeeper's car.
Yeah.
That was fucking awful because guess what, Lisa? Your housekeeper drives this car every day to and from work to her house because it's her car. For you to use it in a mocking fashion and act like it's beneath you is fucking gross. The whole thing was gross.
When the cop or the Brinks truck stopped them because the school bus was coming out, she said, I thought they were stopping me because I'm not supposed to be in this car.
They don't give a fuck.
What does that mean?
They don't care that you're driving a normal car.
Yeah.
It's not, the way that she framed it is just disgusting. And I feel so bad for her housekeeper that has to go back and watch this fucking show and realize what her car was used for.
I would hope her housekeeper doesn't watch this show.
There's no fucking way, whether she likes Lisa or hates Lisa, one or the other she's going to watch.
Yeah, probably.
Because she wants to see her do stupid shit if she doesn't like her. And then she's going to see her car being used as the punchline of a joke, which sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
It really sucked. But when we get to the dinner or the lunch, whatever, we find out that Ana was invited. And what we did not know, you and I specifically, because again, we're newer to this show, was that there is some bad blood between Marysol and Ana. So when Alexia and Marysol walk in and they see Ana's name card down there, it causes a huge shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question for you, because I know where I stand, this is an Adriana issue. This has nothing to do with Nicole.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
She didn't know.
No.
Oh, okay. Bring
Nicole's not a dum-dum.
She's not.
She knows.
You think that she knows?
I think maybe she doesn't know how deep-seated the hatred is, and she doesn't know what's going to happen. But I think she has to understand that there's a relationship there that's not good.
Well, what's her angle then? Why?
We're on a TV show.
What beef does she have with Marysol and Alexia? I know, but she doesn't usually start shit out of nowhere.
So, just because Marysol apologized, both of them put Nicole through the ringer last year.
So you think this is a clapback?
It's a slight clapback. I'm going to make you feel a little uneasy to remind you that I can do this just like you did this to me last year.
It's a slight clapback with some cover because she knows Adriana's the one pushing it.
It's still Adriana and you can still push it. And she still has some plausible deniability because I don't think that Nicole was on the show 10 years ago when this was going on.
Okay.
So it really just comes down to me thinking that Nicole's too smart to not realize that there's an issue here. But you can still just blame Adriana fully through. I don't think that Nicole would have invited Ana if it wasn't for Adriana. I think that those two are okay.
I do believe that.
But once it's presented, I'm sure it stirred up a little bit of a thought in Nicole, like, oh, yeah, this could make them a little uneasy. This could be fun. One, it's a TV show, so it could lead to some drama, and it's my party, so this is good for me. Two, I can get back at them a little bit.
My next question.
So you don't think Nicole had anything to do with it?
After your theory, I don't know if she's completely clean.
Okay,
I
cool.
will say you swayed me a little bit.
All right, cool. Good.
The thing I'm holding on to is we haven't seen this kind of shit out of Nicole in the past.
No.
That's where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe she did. And
I want to see what Ana does when she shows up and how chummy Nicole is with her.
well, that's my next question.
Well, that's the thing. They did also flash back to the reunion, so clearly Nicole does know that Alexia and Marysol do not like Ana.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I guess my question for you, because we're seeing it on other shows as well. We've seen it on Potomac, we've seen it on OC, we've seen it on Beverly Hills, and now we're seeing it here as well. Do you think we're going to continue to add in friend ofs that are previous cast members? Is this going to become a common theme where we can expect returns of people frequently? Now, I know they've done it in the past. I know it's not like groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think we can.
Do you think it's going to work?
No.
I don't either.
No. Anytime that Bravo does something like this, it doesn't work, so we know that's not going to happen.
Well, why don't they focus on the women that we are presented with at the
My
beginning
problem
of the
is that
season?
they're doing it for the wrong shows. Like, I understand if you do it for a show that just if you do it for Potomac right now, you start bringing back people just to piss people off. I'm in.
They brought back Charisse and she flopped.
Yeah, but Charisse is not hitting at all. You can do it for the shows that are not performing because, like Potomac, the women don't like each other. They don't hang out. Throw a wrench in there and just see what happens because you might get some good TV out of it. Don't do it to Miami. Miami's fine.
Yeah, they don't
Miami's
need it.
good. Don't do it like Beverly Hills is a completely different animal. You can bring back Denise because that brings up a lot of shit.
Well, she's Denise Richards.
And it's Denise Richards, exactly. Don't do it for shows that are doing well right now.
I
I
agree
don't
with
want to
that.
see that.
Okay, I can get on board with that. That makes sense to me. But the episode wraps up. They all get into it because, and I feel like, and correct me if you don't agree, but I feel like this was an overcorrection by Alexia because she previously had not defended Marysol at the table. She actually went against Marysol. So I think she saw a moment here where she's like, oh, I know Marysol hates her, so I'm going to raise hell on behalf of Marysol and then remind her 10 times as we're walking out, I'll have your back when I need to have your back, Marysol, because I'm your friend.
Yeah. If she hadn't said that, I would have just said she's just sticking up for her friend, and that's cool.
Right.
But saying it that many times, that did resonate with me. Like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
You saw your moment, and you went above and beyond to prove to Marysol what a good friend you are.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it worked. Marysol is definitely Team Alexia once again. And those two are going to go in a tirade. And now we got what we thought was going to be the Tros. And it looks like Nicole is back on the outs. And I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not she was privy to it, whether she knew what was going on.
We'll be able to tell pretty quickly, I think.
I agree. I think we'll be able to tell as soon as Ana gets there and we watch.
Because if we know right away that Ana starts talking about Alexia and Marysol and starts talking about Alexia's financial issues and Nicole is responding well to that Ana and Nicole are friends outside of this, and there's no way that Nicole didn't also know what Ana was telling Adriana.
The more I think about it, there's no way she doesn't know.
Yeah, no,
There's
she's
no
not
way.
clean. She's not clean.
Interesting.
Love Nicole, but she's not clean.
But hey, again, good season, and that's the thing. They're bringing Ana in, and I liked this whole interaction. So maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to bring back old cast members, but
We'll see how it goes.
yeah, we'll see. If any show could do it, these guys are firing on all cylinders. I think they could manage it. But you're right. It will be interesting to watch it all play out. But that takes us to the question portion of the show. And up first from JPC Murphy. Anyone else want to punch Alexia and Todd in the face? They act like entitled assholes.
Todd sometimes, yeah. He's got a very punchable face.
Yeah, I would punch Todd. I wouldn't punch Alexia.
Yeah,
But I'd give Todd, maybe like an open...
Maybe
open
a noogie?
fistal. Oh, I like that. Yeah, like a
Hey,
noogie.
swirly?
Or like a wedgie.
Yeah.
I give him a super wedgie.
Swirlies are mean.
I got a super wedgie one time, and my God. Do you know what that is? When you
Over
pull
your
the waistband over your head? Yeah, dude.
I don't think mine would go over my
It
head.
rips. It gets there. I'll show you right now if you want.
No,
Let me tell you. Fucking awful.
don't want to do that.
Not fun. It
Yeah.
really hurts. It genuinely is painful. Who knew? From Ali Mole. Ali Mall. Do you think Nicole was intentionally being messy? Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm leaning further to that too. Oh, this is an interesting one. Let's break this down. From Deanna or Dina.Sar. On a scale of 1 to 10, how delusional was Alexia at Mother's Day brunch?
I don't think she's being delusional. You could argue that Alexia knows that Ana is talking about her financial to other people, and she doesn't want to be in the same room with her to try to excuse herself
What's the
from that.
delusion?
I don't see any delusion in that. I think that she's protecting herself from having that discussion on camera,
Okay.
maybe about her not doing so well financially. But no, I don't see any delusion in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. From Tough Texan, does Lisa have a job? Yeah, she makes sense. Perfume sense.
Oh,
What do you think I meant, like change?
it's like SENSE sense.
Oh, she makes sense. Oh,
It makes sense.
She
Yeah,
makes
she
sense.
makes sense.
That makes sense. You get it.
No, but I did actually think that when she showed up at Jody's and she gave him that bottle of tequila, that she absolutely got it on Instacart.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Lenny
10K.
Lenny paid for that bottle of tequila.
How much was that bottle?
I'm surprised.
You're watching on YouTube, you know what's going on.
One
One what?
100, 1,000 because my name's Whitney. and
One
I have-
NFT.
I have my dad's money. I wonder if Whitney has any NFTs.
Absolutely.
Right? He definitely has.
Probably got one commissioned to look like him.
He's got one. It's a gorilla or an ape in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
With a guitar
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Big time.
and glasses. His glasses.
Like a velvet smoking
And he
jacket.
spent $1 million on it, and now it's
And it's worth $3.
$20,000. Oh, 3. Okay, cool. Last one from Deb Milky. Would you stay with someone that has to set reminders on her phone to check on you? It depends.
Yeah, you'd have to have a discussion
There
about
needs to
that.
be more circumstances here. It depends.
Probably not though.
I don't think it's a deal breaker as long as they are actually present.
They actually care.
Yeah, I think that's more
They're
so
just like doing it to just to do it.
right.
do
Like,
ask.
what are they like when we're together? You know, like, do they give
Are they
me the
talking
time
about
of
their
day?
ex-husband? I don't
Right?
know.
Are they talking about Lenny all the time? Because
Point.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a deal breaker. I think it's definitely like you said. It's if it's frequent or it occurs more than once. I think it's a conversation.
Yeah, I would
But
agree.
other than that, you got anything else?
I don't.
All right.
Nothing.
Well, remember, folks, we have a live show coming up January 25th. It's our first solo show. We need your support. So please, if you're not doing anything on Thursday night, January 25th, come out and hang out with us at the Green Room 42. The link is in our bio on Instagram to purchase tickets. And even if you have something going on,
Drop it.
skip it.
Drop it.
You don't have to go.
Cancel plans.
Yeah.
That's the best part about being an adult.
You can cancel plans.
Cancel whatever the fuck you
You
want.
don't even have to have a reason.
You don't even have to show up to your own wedding if you don't want to.
Yeah. Say, I went to the BravBros.
Yep.
Fuck my wedding. And if you do that, if you bring a sign that says, I ditched my wedding for this, we'll bring you on stage.
Honestly, if you were having a Thursday wedding, probably ditch that anyway.
Yeah, you don't need to go to that.
You don't like that fun.
And if you had a Thursday wedding, I'm sure it was beautiful.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, and we love you. You're a beautiful couple. BravBros
Yeah,
are out
okay,
of here. We're out of here.